I get to live the rest of my life as a woman, as the authentic me. That brings me a sense of unbridled joy, something that we might refer to as gender euphoria. So let's talk about how I find gender euphoria and ways you might be able to do the same. As I've mentioned in the past, many of us transition not only to decrease gender dysphoria, but also to increase our experiences of gender euphoria. Sometimes to experience gender euphoria for the first time or one of the first times in our lives. And gender euphoria is an overwhelmingly positive experience, especially if you're like me and didn't find a whole lot to love about yourselves before beginning your transition. Like before my transition, I could care for others, but I struggled to ever love myself and to ever see any of the positives in my life. Gender euphoria makes me think of the field of psychology called appropriately positive psychology. Dr. Seligman, who is considered the founder of the field of positive psych, describes this as the study of what makes life worth living. And I bring this up because I truly believe that being able to experience gender euphoria is one of the things that makes my life worth living. I also know that experiencing an overwhelming lack of gender euphoria coupled with isolation and depression prior to transition made my life feel like it wasn't worth living. One of the biggest motivators for my transition, as I've touched on before, was that my life as a guy did not feel like it was worth living, and I wanted to at least give myself the opportunity to try living because I was going down a dark path. I really wanted to embrace the woman inside who has been lying dormant for years and at least give her a chance at coming forth. I would rather die trying than die not having tried at all. For trans people like me, and probably for many of you watching, it should not have to come to a life or death situation before we take that step to transition. It should not have to come to years of depression and suicidal thoughts, even suicide attempts, anxiety, dysphoria, whatever it may be, before we take those first steps for transition. With many of us never even being able to take those first steps because the pain is too great. It should not be this way. But for those of you watching this that are cisgender, understand that this is why it is so hard. One of the big reasons why it is so hard for many of us to come out in the first place. We live in a world that tells us we are wrong just for being who we are. We internalize that shit, and then that pain just festers and grows and grows and grows. And then we finally experience a shimmer of hope, something small that brings us gender euphoria. Like a friend putting makeup on me before I came out, putting it on me as a joke, but on the inside, I'm very secretly enjoying that. If we're not around the right supportive people, then we'll get told that experiencing that form of joy is also wrong. Then the shame and pain continue to grow. We expect rejection, but then life gets extremely miserable. I could continue living a miserable closeted life, or live a life that's very hard that at least has a chance at experiencing some semblance of happiness. It is that desire of happiness, to be happy in my own skin, to be able to feel that euphoria, that was just as big of a motivator for me as getting rid of that dysphoria as much as possible. So my first bit of advice, so to speak, for finding your sense of gender euphoria is to ask yourself, why do you want to transition, or why did you transition if you've already started that journey? What did you want in your life that you did not have pre-transition? Like I said, I wanted to take away the pain, but I also wanted to add numerous positive things to my life, like to be referred to as a woman with she, her pronouns, to be referred to as Chloe, to present myself in feminine ways that aligned with who I am, to have a body that felt closer to who I have always known myself to be, that I've always felt I should have. Dysphoria can tell us the things we want to get rid of, but euphoria can tell us the things that we want to add to our lives, what we want to bring into our lives to bring more value to our lives. Whether it's adding more of something we already have or adding something new to our lives that will just bring more fulfillment. And once you really reflect on the why, in terms of why you want and need to transition, find the things you like about yourself. Find the physical parts of your body that help affirm your gender. This can be hard, especially early in transition, especially if you plan on medically transitioning and struggle a lot with gender dysphoria. But literally anything, it could be the smallest things. Maybe you like your eyes, or maybe you like the way your nails look when they're painted, Maybe you like the way a certain dress looks on you or a certain hairstyle looks on you, like a certain piece of jewelry, earrings, whatever it may be. Find the smallest things that can bring you a sense of joy, even if it's just for you and nobody else can see it. Or maybe you like the fact that you have the opportunity to wear clothes that affirm your gender. I talk about social support a bunch, so make sure you find the people that can affirm you and support you and go with you along the way on this journey to help address some of those anxieties, some of that social dysphoria that will likely come up every now and again. People that see you for you, people that love you for you, people that use the right pronouns, the right name, that are willing to help you explore trying on a new name, trying on new pronouns, people who make you feel safe and validated when going anywhere in public. Really just find those people that make you feel like it's perfectly okay and perfectly valid to just be you in this world. So these are just a few things. There are probably many more things that we can do to increase our gender euphoria, but I will leave it here now. What are your reactions? How has gender euphoria played a role in your transition, whether playing a role to start your transition or continue your transition? Was it a motivator to help you start? What are some of the things that bring you gender euphoria, and how did you come about finding these things? Let me know all of this and so much more down in the comments below. And as always, Tipsy and I love you all and hope that you're staying safe and sound. If you have not done so already, please be sure to give this a huge thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. I love you all. Bye for now.